Hi, hello, welcome to Spell a Day, where we're covering a spell a day from the 5e PHB, with 3 homebrew included, adding up to 365. Yes, this is going on for an entire year. And today's spell is Faerie Fire. First level evocation, casting time of 1 action, range of 60 feet, components verbal, duration, concentration up to 1 minute. Each object in a 20-foot cube within range is outlined in blue, green, or violet light, your choice. Any creature in the area when the spell is cast is also outlined in light if it fails a dexterity saving throw. For the duration, objects and affected creatures shed dim light in a 10-foot radius. Any attack roll against an affected creature or object has advantage if the attacker can see it, and the affected creature or object can benefit from being invisible. I mean, this is like one of those glitter bombs, isn't it? Okay, so the use that everyone probably thinks of and is mostly used for, and one of its main features and benefits, is the fact that a creature cannot benefit from invisibility when this is on them. Because if you're fighting an invisible creature, there's not many other ways to deal with it. So, might as well have the one counter, or immediate counter, that is. Especially for only a first level spell. 20-foot area does well, you don't need to accurately hit the invisible creature. Fair, they can still pass a dexterity saving throw, but having essentially a large net area that, boom, you can try and hit and see if it actually catches anything. Also, it's 20-foot cube, not a space. So it also goes up. So yeah, this is your anti-invisibility spell. You're trying to hit someone with it, now you can hit them and they can't hide. As long as the concentration is held. So, still have to worry about that angle of it. It is taking a concentration slot, but for a first level spell, and the benefits it's giving you, could hold, especially if that invisibility is a permanent feature. Greater invisibility in creatures that are invisible and such, stuff like that. The other benefit, however, is the majority or bulk of the text, or what it can be used for. Well, yes, this affects items, so even if they're invisible and then they move an item later, you'll at least be able to see the item being affected, which, I don't know, how good to be able to mark items? I mean, it's giving them each a 10-foot dim light for the duration, not just within that 20-foot space, but after you move them. Don't know, you may be able to use some weird like torch conga line with that. But the other thing is the fact that anything that has this and is not invisible already, you now have advantage against. That is a 20-foot cube area that you can just blanket in advantage while you're holding concentration. That is really good. For a first level spell, 60-foot radius, not 60-foot radius, 60-foot range in a 20-foot cube? Sure, it's a dex save. Things can pass a dex save. And by the time you get this, normally your saves are actually pretty low. Using this at a bit later level to guarantee advantage for your entire party against a group of enemies or a single large enemy, not bad, because that's also advantage for yourself. There is no upcasting to it, sadly, but honestly, not that sad. Burning away first level spell slots, especially when you get to later levels, chump change. Faerie Fire does not just have the niche use of stopping invisibility. In fact, that's more a bonus of that niche use of creatures can benefit from it. That's great, and that's what most people use this for. But the fact this is a 20-foot cube area where you're guaranteeing advantage while you're holding concentration, because they can't repeat the save. Once it's on them, until you drop concentration, or there's a dispel effect. You have advantage against that target. I guess the only issue would be that it can also hit allies, but just aim it a bit better, I guess. Great in an ambush or stealth attack as well. I'd have to say 7 out of 10. It's pretty good to have advantage on all attacks against targets, but you can get advantage through other means of knocking them prone, stealth, flanking, if you have that optional rule. Whereas other spell effects like straight debuffs or buffs to targets might be a bit better. In the situation where it's invisibility, yes, that ranking would go up, because that's one of the very few counters to invisibility. But outside of that, yeah, there's still some better options with concentration, but it's a solid spell, and a option of which isn't used that often. Though hey, DMs wise, since it's such a low level spell, it's likely easy for enemies to get. Have an enemy spellcaster in a group, even like a group of bandits or something, cast this and try to attempt the party in an ambush.